Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Selling Tampa Season 1, Episode 3. I must say that Selling Tampa has become one of my favorite shows. I am just loving every single episode. The drama is delicious, the petty shade, and the fact that a lot of these women have not sold a house yet definitely gives me a good laugh. But with all that being said, let's just jump right on into this recap because we don't have a minute to spare. So we start this episode off with Sherelle at home, and she has the champagne on deck along with a really nice charcuterie tray, I have to say. Now, if you guys have been following me for quite some time, then y'all know that I'm always discussing the food on every single show, or sometimes the lack thereof. And I love to see a good spread. A pet peeve of mine, especially when watching these shows with alleged rich women, when they have company over and they don't have any food for their guests. Who does that? So I said, Sherelle, while you might be a horrible leader and boss, you do know how to make a nice charcuterie tray. So 2 points for that.
I love it. I love it.
So we see Joanna come over and they're talking, having a good time, because remember that Joanna is Sherelle's best friend along with her right-hand woman. So they're talking about the group lunch from the day before, and Sherelle's imitating all the ladies. Again, Sherelle, the way you handled things with Rena was unacceptable. There was no reason for you to have that, well, it's my way or the highway attitude, or if you don't like how I conduct business, then you can just leave. You give people your ass to kiss, and then you have the nerve to be offended when they're upset with you. How does that work? And I'm going to keep saying it. I'm on Rena's side. I like Rena a whole lot. She's the true definition of what a professional is. And I am with her when it comes to her gripes with Sherelle. I would still be feeling some type of way if I had been left out of the marketing promo. I really hope that Sherelle's watching this show along with the rest of us and she's studying her mistakes. And I hope that she does improve and is a better leader if this show is picked back up for a season 2. So now they bring up Joanna's divorce, and Joanna says again that she doesn't want to tell the ladies yet because, one, it's none of their business, and she doesn't want the other ladies to think that she's losing control in her own life. Again, like I stated in the last recap, I understand that Joanna's going through a very hard time because a divorce is like a death. But at the same time, I just don't think that the other ladies care about you that much to be judging you so harshly regarding your divorce. Millions of people get divorced every single day. Joanna's not the first, and she's not going to be the last. And one of y'all made such a great point in the comments in the last recap where you said that Sherelle really puts Joanna in a really awful position because while Joanna does work for Sherelle, there's also that favoritism factor since they are very good friends outside of work. And that's a very sticky position to be in because now you look like you're a kiss ass. And Joanna is, but she's just in a very unfortunate position. So now we flip over to the next scene with Colony and Anne-Sophie. They're out for some drinks and they're discussing their double date the other night. The guys were cute from what we saw in the footage. But we find out that Colony's date did not pay the bill. I was like, I would have gotten up and left. Like, don't ever play with me like that. I will be damned if I'm out with a man and I'm paying the tab. Absolutely not. I don't do that Dutch treat. I don't do that, I'm paying for the bill. No, absolutely not.
No.
So Colony's like, God, if you ran out of men, then just say that. And I could not stop laughing because sometimes it does feel that way. But anyhow, they start discussing the Farley mansion, and that's the mansion that's $9 million that Sherelle is hoping that one of them is going to sell. So Anne brings up her measly $3 million offer yet again, and she says that the Farley mansion is overpriced, and Sherelle should be happy that she brought in a $3 million offer. Anne, I don't understand why you can't get it through your pea brain that that's not how this works. Baby, you're in real estate. You should know better than to come to anybody with an offer of $6 million under the asking price. You look like you don't know what you're doing. You look like you just got in the game. You look like an amateur if we're being really honest. And if you worked under the twins at the Oppenheimer group on Selling Sunset, they would have told you, girl, pack your bags. It's been nice knowing you, but you obviously are not equipped to handle the deals here, because there's no way that you would bring such a lowball offer. Then she continues by saying that she wants to show her client the property one more time, and hopefully he can up the offer by at least $1 million. I said, what aren't you getting? That $5 or $6 million under is not going to fly. And what really blew me was when Anne-Sophie said, I don't understand the animosity when I brought up the offer. I'm like, again, the same way you could not walk into Ferrari, Rolls Royce, or Bentley and say, oh, hey, how much is that car? Oh, it's $500,000. Well, I only have $90,000. Take it or leave it. They would laugh you out the dealership. It's evident that your client does not have $9 million. And if that's the case, then show your client some houses in the $1 to $3 million range. It's that simple. And stop wasting your time, your client's time, and everybody else's time. Because you're making yourself and Allure Realty look bad. So now we jump over to Tennille, aka the second Marlo Hampton, because her and Marlo favor, and I'm going to keep saying that every single episode. So anyhow, Tennille is at her listing, and she has Miss Alexis along for the ride. We find out that Alexis stepped away from real estate, but now she wants back in the game, and Sherelle has paired Miss Alexis with Tennille. You can already feel the vibes that Tennille doesn't really respect Alexis that much, and she thinks that Alexis is an airhead. Now, when I saw Alexis, I already knew that she wasn't too bright. It's like the lights are on, but nobody's home upstairs. It's evident that she's definitely not the sharpest crayon. And that's me putting it nicely. And Miss Alexis, girl, I have some choice words for you when it comes to the episode 4 recap, because baby, you tried it. And I think that you'd be better off doing something else because real estate is not your calling. But again, I digress. Then we see Alexis in her confessional say that she's more than just an NFL wife. And I said, girl, you're not even an NFL wife. You're a fiance. And there's nothing wrong with a fiance, but if you're going to tell it, then tell the truth. So we see Tennille's listing, and the home is gorgeous, 10,000 square feet, and it has a theater, a bar, a spa, and the owner used to be a former Playboy model. And she also made a ton of money selling bras on the Home Shopping Network. So you already know that HSN is where the money resides. So baby, she was coined up. The owner is super bubbly, super fun, and she's excited for Tennille to get this house sold. Oh, and the home is selling for $11 million. Now, while I thought the home was beautiful, I did think that it was a bit dated on the inside, and if this woman wants $11 million, I think that she should invest in some renovations. But other than that, though, gorgeous home, it's right on the lake, you see all the yachts passing by, stunning. So now the owner gives Tennille and Alexis a few minutes to just talk outside, and Tennille's asking Alexis if she has any buyers who would be interested in looking at this home. So Alexis says, yeah, I have so many buyers, okay? Like, don't worry about it. So Tennille's looking like, really, girl, I can look at you and tell that you don't know anybody who has $11 million in the bank. So Tennille says in her confessional that she does not believe that Alexis can deliver whatsoever. And we all know that when Alexis said that she had buyers who would be interested and she has all these contacts, you could tell that it was a lie. She wasn't even convincing herself. I think that Alexis is one of those people who just assumed that the luxury real estate market would be just super easy to break into and that she would just have a whirlwind of clients because her fiance plays in the NFL. And she's finding out that it's a lot more than knowing some rich people. You need to know some rich people who are in the market to buy these $1 million homes. And I think that she's seeing firsthand that this is a lot harder than she thought. If Alexis is determined to stick with real estate, I think she should stick to selling some mid-ranged homes and then moving up to the luxury sector once she has quite a few deals under her belt. I think that she's biting off way more than she can chew. But more on Alexis later. So we jump over to the next scene with Sherelle and Rena having some drinks. Sherelle starts off the conversation by saying that she feels a type of way that Rena did not let her know that she got her broker's license. Then she wants to know, why didn't Rena say anything? So now Rena says, well, I felt a type of way about some of these policy changes, so I guess we're even. So I saw some people siding with Sherelle about this episode because they felt like Rena was being sneaky. Like I said in the last recap, Rena has every right to keep her moves private. Sherelle is not entitled to know anybody's every move. And Rena did the right thing in my opinion. Like, how dare you? Rena's not your child. She's a grown woman. The same way that you didn't feel the need to tell everybody beforehand that you were going to change the commission split. Who are you to feel so entitled to what Rena does in her spare time? So since Rena has brought up the policy changes, she also says that she feels a type of way about being excluded from the marketing promo. So of course, Sherelle is giving Rena her ass to kiss, and she says that if she's unhappy, that nobody's holding her hostage, so she can go. And again, that's not a mature, grown-up conversation. Rena is coming to you in a professional manner, stating how she feels, and all you have to say is, well, hey, if you don't like it, then hey, nobody's holding a gun to your head, so go. Like, that's not effective communication. I just want people to stop getting into business and they don't know how to communicate. Oh, and I really liked how a lot of you guys let me know in last week's recap that an 80-20 commission split is actually very good because most agencies, it's a lot steeper. It's like 70-30 or 60-40. So Sherelle is actually being generous with an 80-20 split. But be that as it may, there's still a way of communicating with people. And while 95-5 was a really low split, like you guys all told me, if Sherelle had just broached the subject in a better way, they would have received it a lot better. But for her to just come in on a random day like, okay guys, it's going from 95-5 to 80-20, deal with it. If you don't like it, there's the door. That's not cool. And that would make anybody upset because it's like, wow, can you at least talk to us? Can you at least explain why? And I think it would have been received a lot better, especially on Rena's part. So now we see a short scene with Anne-Sophie back at the Farley mansion, and she's FaceTiming her client, Peter. So she's like, look, Peter, the $3 million offer was a tad bit insulting. Are you able to throw in another $1 million? So he says, sure. I don't understand what it's going to take for Anne-Sophie to realize that this is unacceptable. And it also feels like Anne-Sophie is desperate for any piece of a commission to bring in such a lowball offer. Like, don't you want to make the most money from the deal? Why would you want to settle for $4 million when you can get $9 million? And the commission from $4 million to $9 million, it's a big margin. So why would you even want to lose out on all that extra money? It just doesn't make any sense. I was just shocked to see Anne-Sophie actually pleased with herself, acting like this $4 million offer is a competitive offer that makes sense. So now we see a short scene with Alexis at home with her fiance. So Alexis says that she and her fiance have been together since college. He used to play for the Bills, and she was always there to support him in his career. But now it's time for her to focus on herself. Then Alexis continues by saying that she and Tennille have had their issues in the past, and she felt like Tennille was using her. Then Alexis adds that she hates the way Tennille talks to her because it's kind of like she's looking down on her, and that's not cool. Listen, Tennille seems like she can be kind of rough around the edges sometimes, but Mama does know her stuff, and it seems like she just doesn't have the patience to deal with Alexis and her stupidity. That's just a terrible pairing, Tennille and Alexis together. I mean, their personalities are the complete opposite. I think that Sherelle paired them together to be messy and shady. So now we move on to one of the messiest scenes of the episode. And we see Rena at her listing, a very pretty 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom house going for $1.5 million. And Anne-Sophie and Colony arrive, and Colony lets Rena know that she might have a buyer for this house. So Rena's like, oh great, sounds good, but can I talk to you girls about something? So they're like, okay, sure. So child, they sit down to talk, and Rena lays it all out on the line. So Rena starts it off, and she says, look, recently I haven't been feeling valued as an agent, and I've sort of been toying with the idea of starting my own brokerage since I recently got my broker's license. So Rena continues, and she wants to know if the two of them have ever thought about leaving Allure Realty. So already you can tell that this conversation is about to go left, and Rena is probably going to regret having this conversation because Colony does not seem to be on board. So Colony says, so are you telling me that you would want to start your own brokerage and compete with Allure Realty, and on top of that, take Sherelle's 2 best agents? So child, Colony starts going off about how she's very loyal to Sherelle and she doesn't play that, and how it's not right what Rena's trying to do. So Anne-Sophie says to Colony, girl, it's not about having loyalty, it's about business and making sure that you're good. So Rena's like, look, Colony, it's all about going where I'm valued, and on top of that, it's nothing personal against Sherelle, it's just business, and I have to do what's best for me. So Colony says, good for you, Rena, but I'm never going against Sherelle. So now Anne and Colony start going at it because Anne's like, Colony, girl, it's not that deep. Nobody's trying to go against Sherelle. It's just business. Colony is not trying to hear it, and she keeps saying, nope, I don't care. And then she adds that Rena is out of line. So let me just stop right here and let's just dissect this conversation, because I was really livid with Colony, and Colony, I love you, but you made no sense. And Rena was not doing anything wrong. And you sound crazy to say, so you're trying to compete with Sherelle? You do know that there is enough for everybody in this world, right? That would be like Neiman Marcus getting mad at Saks. That would be like Nordstrom getting mad at Bloomingdale's. That would be like Jimmy Choo getting mad at Christian Louboutin. There's room for everybody. Hermes is not worried about what Chanel is doing. The Four Seasons is not worried about what the Ritz-Carlton and what the St. Regis are doing. The Hilton is not worried about what the Marriott is doing. You get my point? So it's just crazy that you expect this black woman who has her brokerage license to sit there and stifle her dreams because of some loyalty. Sherelle has said repeatedly, if you don't like it, then leave and do your own thing. Has she not? So how would Rena be going against Sherelle? In business, people branch off and do their own thing every single day. I don't understand why you're trying to condemn Rena like she's doing something evil when she's not. The only misstep that Rena made, in my opinion, was her trying to recruit you guys. I think that if she wants to start her own thing, then she needs to break out and get some new people. But other than that, I think that Rena is well within her right to start her own brokerage. I just don't like this mindset where, especially in the Black community, where people act like there can only be one. I don't like it. We see it all the time, especially in entertainment, where there can only be a number one Black actress or Black actor. I just hate that mentality because in other races, we see multiple people flourishing in the same exact industry at the same time, and it's not an issue. Nobody's gonna die if there are 2 Black women-owned brokerages in Tampa. It shouldn't just be Sherelle is the only one. I can get lost in that forever, so let me just move on along. But I really didn't like Colony's response, and I just really felt bad for Rena because you could tell she was looking like, damn, why did I say anything? So we see Rena say, look, I understand that you might feel a type of way, but if I'm at the end of my road here at Allure Realty, I owe it to myself to see what else is out there. And Rena, once again, I'm on your side, and I wholeheartedly agree. You should not have to stifle your dreams because of fear about what people might think or say that you're branching out on your own. So we move on to the final scene of the episode, and we see all the women at the office, and Sherelle is not in the best mood because she has just found out that the Farley mansion is now under contract. So another agent from another brokerage has gotten the deal. So she's really annoyed, and she calls Anne-Sophie over, and she's like, Anne, did you know that the Farley mansion was under contract? So Anne is like, wait, what? Like, no, I didn't know that. So Sherelle's like, yeah. And the offer was $7 million in cold hard cash. So Anne is like, well, I had a $4 million offer on the table, and she's trying to defend that. So Sherelle is really pissed, and she's like, Anne, I don't understand how much more I can keep saying this, but you need to be on your A game, and that is a very unacceptable offer. So Sherelle says, look, Anne, you know better than this. And you're making all of us look bad by bringing these low offers to the table. So, of course, her and Anne go back and forth. Anne still trying to defend an offer that's $5 million under the asking price. And then Sherelle's like, look, I'm not going to say it again, but that's unacceptable, and you need to do better. So now the episode ends with Anne storming out of the office, and she's like, I'm going to lunch.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.
Granted, Sherelle isn't the best leader, but I was here for her getting you together because you know that you were wrong to bring $4 million to the table for a $9 million home. If you were on Selling Sunset, the twins would have laughed you out the office. They would have, and you know it. I just don't like how Anne seems to have a very hard time taking accountability. That was unacceptable, period, point blank. You were better off not receiving any offers than to receive an offer that made absolutely no sense. And how you were trying to justify, well, you know, at least I got an offer, nobody else did. No, this is not one of those something is better than nothing situations. This is a luxury real estate deal. You need to come a lot better than, well, some deal is better than no deal. If you have that mentality, sis, you can go do something else. But y'all, this was a fantastic episode. As you guys can see, I definitely got really heated at some parts because when I tell you, Sherelle, Colony, and Anne really pissed me off. But y'all, thank you so much for watching my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.